Hello and welcome to AXSChat. Delighted to welcome Erin Hawley today. Apologise for any technical issues that we might have. I've been having a bit of a nightmare. Erin, we're delighted to have you on. I know you do work for Easterseals Thrive and you've been joining us on AXSChat for a while now, but you also do advocacy work elsewhere. So can you tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing with Easterseals Thrive?
Sure. Easterseals Thrive is for young women with disabilities. And we do Twitter chats and Facebook chats, and we have different websites geared towards young women. Different, we did a chat about fashion. We did a chat about college and school, all different topics. So it's really fun. I enjoy doing it. So that's it.
Excellent.
How about your personal stuff, Erin? I know you do a lot of advocacy. Sorry, Neil, but tell us more about that too.
So I run a blog and a Twitter account. It's the Geeky Gimp, and I talk about different nerdy stuff like comic books and board games, and I mention disability in that nerd stuff, accessibility, and I also am a disability advocate, so I do a lot of different work, for people with disabilities.
Yeah. I think actually the first AXSChat you came on was the one with Ian Hamilton where we were talking about gaming.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I think that was probably the first time we crossed paths, and I have to say that I know that you're a big fan of sci-fi. I used to work for a company that specialized in sci-fi memorabilia, and so every month back in the day of VHS, we used to get delivered by lorry a lorry load of Star Trek videos, which I would have to unload and send off to all of the people.
Awesome.
I kind of got sick of Star Trek because it was heavy.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I'm also a big sci-fi fan, big
I love sci-fi, yeah. I
and
think Star Trek is my favorite.
yeah,
I
and
love Star Trek.
yeah, yeah, I do. It's just that it was heavy, and they were
Yeah,
exploiting
yeah.
the fans every time. They'd repackage the series with a new spine image across the back of the spines, and the fans would buy the whole series all over again because it got a different spine image, and they'd line them up on their bookshelves.
Yeah.
Smart marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of cruel though. It was cruel to me because I was carrying them. But no, in all seriousness, I think that sci-fi is great because it actually gives us an insight into some of the technologies that we use as assistive technologists and users of accessibility tools as to how we might use these things in the future, and it gives an insight into the potential of technology to change our worlds, like brain-computer interfaces and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, Deborah, I know you've got a question.
Yeah, thank you, Neil. And I agree with you. I think the technology and the sci-fi and all that stuff, I love all that stuff. I just am a big fan of it. I also, Erin, wanted to talk a little bit. I wanted to tell you, and I might have told you this before, Erin, but Easterseals is very, very powerful to my family. Whenever we heard that Sarah had Down syndrome, she was 4 months old, and they were laying all this really heavy stuff on us, and we were trying to figure out, what do we do? How do we really help Sarah be successful? And the one organization that really stepped in to help us was Easterseals. We were in Jacksonville, Florida, and Easterseals sort of scooped in. They started working with us. They found a really, really good school for Sarah, early intervention school that also worked for my son Kevin. And I am just a huge, huge fan of what Easterseals does, because we just didn't even know where to turn. And by the time we were looking around to see what next, Easterseals was there. So I'm very, very appreciative of Easterseals, because they really helped us at a time when our family was very confused. So one thing I would be interested in knowing is, so I love that Easterseals has this Thrive program, and it's focused on girls and women with disabilities, and you've talked about, some of the programs that you've done there already, but how did you get involved with this program? And I know one of the topics that we want to focus on is relationships and online dating and how accessible they are, but tell us how you got involved with this program at Easterseals.
Sure. Last year, they had a chat about disability and fashion. So I joined the chat, and then I became Facebook friends with Easterseals, and then I saw them post a job opening, so I applied to the job, and I got the job, so that was really great. So
it sounds like a dream job.
It is pretty much my dream job, definitely. Yeah. So I think it's really important for young women, especially, to have that positive influence. So I was really excited to be part of that.
And I would also think, Erin, that I think it would be powerful for young women with disabilities to see a leader like you that also has a disability. So it seems like in a lot of ways they could really identify with you, maybe even more so than when they usually are, dealing with people without disabilities. Not that we all have a place to play, and we're all valuable, but I would think in a lot of ways you're a very solid role model for them.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. I try to be.
Yeah. So, one thing I'd like to point out is that I'm aware of Easterseals and the good work that they do, but it's not an organisation that people have heard of outside of the US. So perhaps you could give some of the UK and other guests a bit of a background or a quick explanation of the Easterseals organisation, because I know it does so much.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Easterseals is an organization that's like 100 years old. It's a very old, it's older, and they did a lot of work, for people with disabilities. They help find jobs. They help find housing. They help mental illness help, and people with autism, finding programs. So there's a lot. They do so much, and I think people are starting to see all the good work that we do. So.
And I didn't realize, Neil, that isn't that funny? When I think of Easterseals, I just thought it was everywhere. Are y'all primarily in the United States, Erin?
Yes, it's mostly in the United States.
I didn't even realize that.
We have other countries as well. I think Canada, Australia, Puerto Rico, I think.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it's a bit like baseball World Series, Debra.
Yeah.
But I know the work's fantastic, and I came across the Easterseals through the Joining the Dots videos, all of the sort of stuff that they put out about people using technology and how it helps them and stuff like that. Fantastic resource. So going back to your subject of online dating, are there any particular dating sites that you think are more disability friendly than others? You know, are you regularly swiping right on Tinder, or is it, or are there other sites that are much more open and friendly and accessible?
For me, the most accessible was OkCupid, which is a dating website. I mean, I don't really use accessibility features, so it's hard for me to say, you know, what's more or less accessible. But I found I got the most conversations and the most interest on OkCupid. They have a dating site specifically for people with disabilities, but it's not that big, so there's not a lot of people on the website, so it's hard to find somebody there.
So Erin, they have a section specifically for people with disabilities. It seems, in a way, though, even though I'm sure I applaud their efforts, but it seems like we should all be included in all of it. I mean, do you think is it like an interest group so that you can, tell me more about it. I'm probably making assumptions that are not fair.
OkCupid doesn't have it's for everybody. You don't have to have a disability, but you can search for disability and stuff comes up. But there are websites that are just for people with disabilities.
Okay, all right, that makes more sense.
I've tried those too, but not good.
And what was it about the others that wasn't good? So
because there wasn't that many people on the website, so it was hard finding somebody that lived locally, like lived near me. I found people in like Scandinavia, people in England, so it was hard finding somebody local on that website.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Where OkCupid has like millions and millions of people on it. So.
Yeah, I know that Sarah Rue, and most people know that Sarah was born with Down syndrome, but, you know, we've actually played around with dating sites. You know, Sarah and I Sarah's a really good technologist. She's generally better with technology than I am, but I found that there were, on some of the sites, I would get a little nervous as a mother. You know, it's like I wasn't exactly sure if the people were who they said they were, and you know, so we had mixed results. But she actually did meet a couple of people that she had already known about, so it was good for friendship purposes. But it might be harder for I don't know as much about it.
Yeah. Well, I met my boyfriend on Twitter.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's good. It was weird. I was not looking for anybody, but I just found him on Twitter, and it was like an instant connection.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
I love Twitter.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we all love Twitter. We're all big
fans of Twitter.
Big fans of the little bird. Yeah, absolutely. So one of the other topics you expressed interest in talking about was about health and both, I think, mental health and also sort of
Mhm.
physical health and looking after yourself. So, what kind of advice do you give out through Easterseals Thrive on how to, you know, become healthy, stay healthy,
So
etc.
we have a lot of content. Right now we're doing something about quitting smoking. So that's really good. And we always have a lot of mental health resources in every state. So that's really good. And, we promote exercise. We promote healthy living as much as possible. And, it's really great.
And so what has the responses been, Erin? Do you find that young women, and should say women and girls with disabilities are joining these conversations more? Or do you seem to be getting out to the target market that Easterseal was trying to approach?
I think I am. When I started working for Easterseals, the Thrive Twitter account had like 250 followers. And now, a year later, it has over 900.
Wow, congratulations. And we're going to get you a bunch more on AXSChat this week.
I hope so. So
Yeah.
I think the message is getting out there. Yeah.
I think so too, and it's because you're engaging. That's why it's getting out there, because I know you're engaging from both Easterseals and your personal account on AXSChat, and it is all about engaging with others.
Right. I try and be as personable as I can on Twitter. So it's not just like Easterseals, but it's an actual person behind the Twitter. So.
Which is very important, and we see sometimes a lot of organizations and corporations, they're not doing that, but people want to know who is behind that Twitter handle. Who are you? What do you stand for? It's very important for you there to be engagement, which is probably why you're seeing the successes that you're seeing.
I hope so. I think so.
Well, your results speak for themselves, so.
Thank you.
And I definitely think that that's true. You have to really be personable on kind of media. The broadcasting only doesn't really cut it. People want to have conversations, even if they don't know the person behind the account. The account's still got to behave in a way that's approachable and friendly and responsive and everything else. And I think that a lot of people think that they can just put stuff out there and throw it out and not have that kind of two-way conversation.
Right.
Yeah. That is not social.
No.
Yeah.
And I know that Debra and Antonio and I, we all put in the hours and stuff responding to people, because it's really important that we put out messages. If people are coming back to us asking questions, then we're duty bound to actually do something about that, respond, help, share the information and spread the good word. Yeah. So I think what you're doing is really important.
Erin, I have a question about online dating sites. What do you wish developers that were creating or enhancing these online dating sites, what do you wish that they knew about people with disabilities and what the needs were and stuff? Any suggestions for them?
I think they should communicate with actually disabled people with disabilities. They should connect with us and ask us how to make it more accessible. Because there's so many resources out there from people with disabilities. So if they ask us, we can share our concerns and, test it out, make it blind, accessible, all different. There's so many ways to make things accessible. And it's easy, and it's not expensive.
Right. And everything that they do, we talk about this a lot, everything you do to make those sites more accessible to people with disabilities makes it more accessible for all of us. Right. So it makes your site almost always more usable for everyone. Right. We talk about that a lot.
Yeah. Right. And it's not like it's small numbers of people either. And so they're wanting to attract people. I use the sense of attraction in both senses of the word. Then they want to attract the widest audience, and so they need to be thinking about that, because a lot of people with disabilities are dating people without disabilities, and vice versa, and therefore we need to be included in that whole process. Not that I'm using dating sites happily married man, making that clear on video right now.
In case his wife is listening.
Okay.
Well, Erin, thank you for joining us today. I know we had some technical problems, but we are really excited about having you on Twitter, tomorrow to talk about this topic. I think it's a topic that we need to really, really dig into even more as a society. I think it's a very important topic.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate your work with Easterseals. And as an advocate yourself, I think you're really making a difference for a lot of other people. So.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Speak to you tomorrow. Well, see you on Twitter.
Yeah. Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.